What's up guys, Ivan Carranza here, and today we're taking a look at the wrist grips. The wrist grips are essentially compression wraps for musicians. And if you're wondering, okay, why would I need a compression wrap? What's the use of that? I'm gonna read for you what's in packaging, and then I'm gonna talk a bit about my experience so far. Here it says, why wrist grips? Decreased pain, swelling, and soreness. Relief from carpal tunnel issues, discomfort from repetitive stress, increased comfort, longevity and endurance, better wrist stabilization and support. Now, let me start by saying that I am not a doctor or a physiotherapist or a medical expert, and if you're experiencing severe pain that's holding you back from playing, you should definitely seek professional help. Now that that's out of the way, I've experienced a few injuries in my playing career so far, and I've been to a bunch of doctors and physiotherapists, and I'm friends with a really good physiotherapist who has helped me a lot. And you know, us as musicians, we do a lot of repetitive motions pretty much in the same position for a longer period of time. You know, we use, in the case of bass players or guitar players, most of us are right-handed. Our fretting hand is the left hand, and you know, this side of our arm is under constant tension or use from fretting. You know, we're all in this position, our arms are extended, you have the weight of the bass or the guitar here putting pressure as well, and we do the same motion like repetitively for hours and hours, you know, and it's just this side of the arm. This one, you know, where the extensors are, is not as active as the flexors. And we also, like, you know, put our wrists in positions that weren't designed to be used for long periods of time. You know, you have to bend to reach certain notes sometimes, stretch your arm, your fingers, weird positions. And the risk of injury can definitely be reduced by the use of proper technique and posture. But even then, you know, we spend so much hours practicing and performing that can lead to injury. And I know, because I've been in that position before. You know, you start getting a bit of pain, but you have an important show or a practice session or rehearsal or recording or something, and you don't want to stop playing, so you keep playing, and that makes things worse. You know, when I was practicing to get accepted to a master's degree program at music school, I got golfer's and tennis elbow. You know, I couldn't even hold a cup of coffee or a frying pan or a glass of water without shaking, because my wrist was unstable and my elbow was hurting, and that took, and is still not 100%, but it took a long time to even get decent, you know, so to a point that I could just hold a glass of water without shaking or being in pain. Also, I've got tendonitis on my pinky when I was in my first year at music school, when I first moved to Germany, and that kept me from playing like half a year. I had to sell one of my basses because I couldn't flex my finger. The doctors wanted to, you know, do surgery, and that wasn't an option, no way. And all that came from just being, you know, muscle strain and, you know, repetitive use of my fretting hand. One of the things that I've used for, you know, pain relief has been a compression sleeve. You put on your arm until it gets up to here. Which has worked great. I keep always one in my gig bag. When it's cold, for example, and I need to warm up fast, it helps with the blood flow and stuff. But sometimes you would put a bit too much pressure on this side of my arm, you know, on my shoulder, on my elbow, and you know, it's not as discreet as one of these. And also, a compression sleeve, like I said, it gets warm and fast. So if it's like sunny right now or in the summer, and my room is like really hot right now, you know, you would sweat a lot with that on. And CB of Box of Tricks here in Germany sent me a pair of these wrist grips to test, and also thank you a lot, CB, these are great. And I've been using them for the last couple of weeks, and I'm really surprised because they definitely work, and it's been a relief as well, because they're easy to use, they're easy to carry around. And I was a bit skeptical because I've tried putting things on, like a tennis sweatband or something here, and most of them would put up either too much pressure or not enough pressure, or they would get in the way when I had to fret, and it was not comfortable. And these have been working great. I've been using them for pretty much every practice session or rehearsal for the last couple of weeks, and I can definitely say that my hand feels rested or better after playing than if I was to do the same without them. The wrist grips cost $19 or €19, depending on your location, of course, and they come with a 90-day money-back refund. The wrist grips come in only one size, although if you really need a custom length because you have really thick wrists, for example, you can contact the company and they will make you a custom one. But it's just pretty much a one size fits all. And for me, at least, one thing I've noticed is that I don't really need a lot of pressure using these to see an effect, a positive effect on my playing. And the way you put this is, you have the metal buckle here, this one, that goes pointing towards your pinky on top of your wrist. Then you loop the underside through the buckle, you tighten it a little bit, then you twist it the other way so that the metal buckle points towards your thumb, and then you determine how much tension there's gonna be or pressure by pulling on this one, right? So I think I've noticed that I barely need to put any pressure to really get an effect or to notice that my hand is more stable. So I just really barely just lightly turn it around, and I notice immediately that my hand feels feels more like my right hand. It feels not flexible, but it feels smooth. It feels not tired. It feels like more comfortable. And I had to get used to a little bit to how it felt having the buckle here, because you have to find for yourself like a good position where it's gonna be. But as you can see, I can flex my wrist all the way, and I can stretch my hand all the way as well, without any discomfort. When I do this, however, I do feel like it's putting a bit of pressure here, which is actually the intended purpose for this. It's providing compression on your wrist. But I also notice that I have more fretting strength. It's because my wrist is stable, I can use all this much more effectively. And one thing I've noticed is that, like I mentioned before, I had tennis elbow and golfer's elbow, and sometimes when I was practicing for longer periods of time, I would notice that here it's a bit of discomfort, but since using these, I've been practicing for longer periods of time, recording, rehearsing, and I don't notice anything here. It's like my whole arm is working the way it's intended to work, and that's been a huge relief as well. Also, when I wake up in the morning, like really early, for example, I want to shed for like, I don't know, half an hour before going somewhere else, and sometimes I wake up and my hands feel kind of stiff or kind of tired from the playing I've done the day before, or from lifting weights. And when I put this on, I can practice without any problems in the morning. So this also helped me in that way too. What you have to pay attention to is that you don't put too much pressure here, because if I really tighten them up, extending my hand gets, it starts cutting circulation. I can imagine that the amount of pressure that you have to put depends as well on the level of injury or your discomfort maybe, and also of course the side of the wrist. But you have to play around a bit to find your sweet spot on how much pressure you're gonna use for yourself. even if you're not experiencing any discomfort or pain, I would encourage these, because just as a safety measure, you know, as a backup or an insurance kind of thing, you know, as a musician, you travel a lot, you play at night, you don't get enough sleep, and you know, you spend a lot of time with your instrument, and that puts stress on your body, you know, your nervous system, your joints, tissues, and everything. And just to feel more safe, that you're not gonna get injured, and that it's gonna feel, you know, everything's gonna work as it's intended to work, I would keep one of these, you know, in my gig bag at all times. Like I mentioned before, I've been using this here at home, also during rehearsals and shows, and they've worked tremendously well. Thank you guys for developing the product. It's been working great, and you know, it makes me feel more at ease knowing that my wrists and my hands are gonna work efficiently and not fail on me. The only negative thing that I can think of is sometimes you do have to adjust it a couple of times when you just put them on, to find, you know, the right spot and the right amount of tension. And that, I think, if I read correctly, the metal buckle is plated with nickel. And I know some people are allergic to that. So some people can't play nickel strings, for example, because they get skin allergy. So maybe changing that to something else could be an option. But other than that, since I've been using these, I feel definitely more at ease, knowing that my hand is stable, and at the end of the practice session I'm not gonna be feeling discomfort or pain, and that it helps keeping my wrists stable. And I can also feel it while playing, you know, I feel like I'm more precise. I don't have to put it or tense up while playing. If you would like to know more about the wrist grips, I'm gonna put a link in the description below for you to check that out. Also, a quick shout out before closing the video to CB of Box of Tricks. Thanks a lot for sending me these. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.